Welcome to Vets Chat Show. Vets Chat Show gives veterans an opportunity to voice their concerns regarding issues impacting them. Vets Chat Show also connects veterans to the community through monthly panels of experts and leaders. It is a live, interactive, weekly, multi-platform show for veterans by veterans. Each episode addresses issues and topics that impact current and former members of the United States Armed Forces and their families. We provide a positive outlet for veterans to discuss themes relevant to them, such as fitness, family, finance, education, entertainment, and empowerment. And we're here live in the studio with our guest. Well, let's get right to him. His name is Aaron. Aaron, welcome to Vets Chat Show.
Hey, Trent, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me here on a beautiful day in the Bronx.
Yes, thank you so much for coming down, and we will get to Aaron and his story and learn more about The Mission Continues. I'm very happy to have him here. So, Aaron, first to start off, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background in the military so we have a sense of who you are?
Sure, Trent. It's great to be here, as I said before, and I'm an Army veteran, graduated from West Point, and spent 5 years on active duty all around the country, all around the world, deployed to Iraq in 2005 to 2007, and back here in New York. I live in Harlem, and I'm the Director of Strategy and Research at the National Veterans Nonprofit, The Mission Continues.
Great. It sounds like you have a varied background, and I'm sure that extends far beyond the military. What else are some of your background key points that help you in this position?
Sure. I mean, when I joined the Mission Continues about a year ago, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. I love working for the organization. Just to give our listeners a sense of what the Mission Continues does, and then how I got involved with them. The Mission Continues is a national veterans nonprofit that challenges post 9/11 veterans to continue their service, to serve and inspire in communities across America. And we bring together hundreds of veterans from all around the country to challenge them to work with nonprofit organizations in their communities during a six-month fellowship program. And they're working 20 hours per week and working on the most important problems and issues that our communities are facing. And they're taking their military service and applying it directly to making a difference back here at home. We've had over 609 post 9/11 veterans awarded fellowships over the last 5 years. We've had over 20,000, close to 30,000 volunteers join us for our National Days of Service, veteran-led projects in the community. We worked here in Queens right after the Hurricane Sandy. We've had veterans leading the way, leading the charge in their community. And I heard about the Mission Continues this past year. I was working for a top management consulting firm, and what it's like when you're an officer in the military just wasn't the same. I wasn't getting the same sense of purpose, being part of something bigger than myself like we had as officers in the military. And when I found the Mission Continues, it couldn't have been a better fit. I get to serve veterans, I get to serve communities, and I get to use the consulting skills that I learned to help grow a nonprofit.
This is all great, and it sounds like a dream come true. And for me, as a fellow and a new fellow in the program, I'm still learning the ropes, not necessarily through the community service, but doing things to fulfill a higher purpose and getting the power of the collective to get more good work done with others and these opportunities. And I'm very grateful to find my way to even being connected, and that's why I'm so excited that Aaron is spending time to talk to us and our listeners and educate them and empower them with some information that can help transform their lives, such as it's doing for me and myself as well. I'm sure they could do for many others. So in terms of recruitment, What opportunities exist for them to apply in this program, and is there any local classes that are coming up or groups that are in this area that veterans can watch?
Trent, that's a great point. If you're a post 9/11 veteran, you're listening, you need to apply for the Mission Continues Fellowship. Your country needs you, your communities need you to be leaders. You're going to take the skills that you learned in the military and you're going to apply it directly to your hometowns. And you're going to work with nonprofits or the community service organization of your choosing. Whatever gets you going, gets you excited, we're going to bring you into the Mission Continues. The next class, every quarter, so every 3 or 4 months, we bring in a new class of Mission Continues Fellows. We just had our Alpha class brought in over 70 fellows in Los Angeles for a 3-day orientation event. We bring you all together. You have a new unit that you're working with, a new mission, and we give you the skills and the knowledge to go out and make a difference through that 3-day orientation. The next class is here in New York City.
Wow.
And it's going to be from May 3rd to May 5th. And if you haven't already gotten your application in, you can join us for one of our service projects that weekend. So take a look at our website, www.missioncontinues.org, and you can find out the service project location for that weekend. And if you can't make the New York orientation, apply for the following class. Every 3 months, there's a new class all around the country that's starting, so you need to apply.
Definitely, I would encourage people to go to missioncontinues.org and find out how you can be involved and who can be involved. What if you are, other than a veteran or somebody wants to apply for the program, how else can you be supportive if you're, say, a company or want to sponsor or volunteer and put together something and working together with the Mission Continues? What's the process?
Sure. So besides Trent joining the Mission Continues as a fellow and being as exciting and impactful as you are so far in your fellowship, you can also support and join the Mission Continues through service projects. We have national days of service all over the country that you can join that are veteran-led. You can donate to the Mission Continues. Go on our website again and you can see how you can become a donor for the Mission Continues, support our growth, and also you can fund a fellow. You can fund directly one of the fellowships during their 6-month period. And then you can also get the word out, too. We're trying not just to help successfully transition veterans when they get out. We're also trying to change the national conversation. We don't want to be seen as people who need a charity or a handout. Veterans, that is. We want veterans to be seen as leaders, as assets, as making a difference in our communities and not needing a handout. And so through your service and through other fellows' service back here at home, we are trying to create these models of service that everyone is seeing. So when all of the people here that are listening, Trent, see what you're doing to get the word out, how you're being a leader in the community, that's what we need as well from everyone else who's listening. Tell people that veterans are not victims. Veterans served our country nobly and will continue to do so.
And it's great that you do that, and he's in a perfect position, and really he has a dream job doing what he loves and something he's passionate about and giving back and serving. And as myself, I'm a servant as well and was looking for something to do. And what drew me also to the Mission Continues was the opportunity to do service above self for others, but also to honor people that have fallen, to do service in the name of somebody that has passed on. What's that program like?
Yeah, that's a great program, Trent. Many of us who've served overseas, a majority of our fellows have served in Iraq in combat, served in Afghanistan in combat, or served in, a supporting capacity and have lost battle buddies, in those wars. And we want to come back home and honor their sacrifice through service. So we do that by becoming a fellow, by being a living example of what they were trying to achieve. And during your fellowship, you can dedicate your fellowship and your service to a fallen soldier, a fallen wounded warrior.
That's an important part. That is one thing, like I said, that drew me, and that pretty much is a big part of why I joined. I will pop in a second and play a clip from the National Volunteer Service Award, and this was, I think I'll share this with Aaron. I have not shared my story fully. We all have a story. My story, I'm working on getting it out there, but I'm doing it for a reason, and just as all of us are. And I don't know a veteran without a story, so this is a beautiful outlet. I see myself as a vehicle, but there's a reason for what I'm doing, and I'm passionate about my fellowship, and I just wanted to share and reveal some words that I had from my head and heart at the Fathers and Families Coalition of America, which is my sponsoring organization, about how and why I'm doing this service.
You should recognize your volunteers and go get certified and go get this presidential nomination for all those who have helped you. And I said, Trent, you crazy. The president's not. And Trent's right. And so it's because of Captain Trent Love, who said, here's what you said, the seed. So he put the seed in my mind, he watered, and then here today you guys get the fruit. So Captain Trent Love, please come to the podium.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for the honor. It's an honor and privilege. I don't know where to start but I know it will be short when I do land. I'm going to shoot from the heart, and the head will follow, because I have a lot of things going through my mind at this time. Wow. To start with, and when I think about serving and heroes, I really just consider myself, if anything, a servant, a humble servant, a public servant. So much so that I never even think about it. Just as much as you may see me here in front, quite often I'm behind the scenes, just working quietly, or even hanging up stuff, or doing things without looking for any kind of credit, just because it's the right thing to do, just to answer a call to service. And I do so happily, willingly. I serve, I feel, in reference to my service above self and beyond self. I serve to serve because I want to help the helpless. I want to give power to the powerless, voice to the voiceless, and hope to the hopeless, and hope to inspire many others to do the same. I thank James. I thank everyone here because I consider everyone here family. I really do. And there's much more family than that's present in this room. That's family in the community. There's family in the country. There's family all around the world. And I think James and everyone here for sharing that vision and gravitating towards that one common thing that we have in answering that call. And I've found my way, just for background information, I found my way being affiliated with this organization and doing work is because I wanted to serve, but I also have a guilty pleasure that, being that I've always been in the background, videotaping and helping in that kind of way, I've had the benefit of getting a first-class education in fatherhood. So, and watching it over and over again and editing and replaying, but we still have to take the actions and walk the walk too, and I hold myself accountable. I still don't think I have it right, but I got a lot of mentors, and I consider James a mentor. I keep taking those steps forward and learning and sharing and asking for help because I still need it, but it makes us all better and connected. So I found my way through working with the organization, helping out, doing videos, doing whatever it took, and I enjoyed it, and it was a guilty pleasure. So much so that I kept coming back. I keep answering the call. I came from New York not too long ago. I was in the Bronx, in Manhattan. I know everything about Hurricane Sandy. I just feel I was blessed to even be able to make it here today. And I'm happy to be here to accept it. But in terms of what this means to me, it means a great deal, especially in terms of fatherhood. I was involved in Iraqi freedom, besides also first responder in 9/11. And I don't even believe I shared this with James. I feel that I got a debt to repay because I have a daughter. And the reason I was able to have her in my life or be there for her birth, which was my one wish, and this happened to be able to see her being born, was during a time, Iraqi Freedom 1 and 2, and it was a combat time. But I was able to make it home at a time where the procedure and the protocol was no one was making it back unless you got injured or killed or something else. Nothing for something morale's sake. And I didn't want to be the first or only one to go, especially being in officer status. But I had a father figure, and he's a colonel, and he realized how important that was because he's a father. And he gave me that opportunity to see something that was so special and important to me. And I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up, and there's a reason I am getting choked up about it. It's because he was killed in combat. And after I returned, it was hard for me to keep going on about it, and I did because I have a debt to repay and honor him. And I'm working on repaying repaying that opportunity and giving it to others. And all I would have to say is that there's an organization I was speaking to James also about continuing the mission. And there is an organization actually called The Mission Continues, and it's able to allow, to create opportunities to continue to give service, recognize that work, and continue giving. And it never stops. It never really stops. I'm retired. I am retired at a young age, younger than expected, due to certain physical and disabilities with post-traumatic stress. I talk about it now at this point. I'm a little bit further away, but I feel that I'm in a position to help others and keep stepping and getting encouraged. And I remember who I am and where I came from, and I try to remind, and it's good that I had the conversation with James because I remember who I am, where I'm from, where I came from, and our history and honoring those that came before us. So I'm so happy to be here today and share in a moment. I just want to say thank you, and I will continue to serve. The mission does continue, not because of an organization or a cliche, but that's what we all have to do. Our mission have to continue because there's a lot of work to still be done. And I also thank James for having an insight to be able to support an initiative with veterans with the vetschatshow, and to be able to take care of or address some of the special needs that our military families are having as they come back, because there's a lot of them coming back, and they're coming back into the families, and they've changed, as so have I. And many people, even my family, doesn't know all of the issues in that moment I might have shared with the family in this room. However, we want to be able to help them, not only veterans, but everybody, in reintegrating. And Maya Angelou said, in terms of a hero, I still, like I said, feel that I'm a public servant. I'm a servant, a humble servant. But a hero is anyone in the world that feels that they can make a difference in the community. And I think everyone here is a hero. And I think the mission should continue, and it will. So I thank everyone today. And that was brought to you from Fathers and Families Coalition of America, their national conference. And they're giving out a couple of more of those National Presidential Volunteer Awards on an upcoming event for the next convention that is going to be on February 25th through March 1st in California, San Francisco, California. You can find more about that event at Fathers and Families Coalition of America's website. It's fathersandfamiliescoalition.org, and find out more about these recognitions for many agencies that are doing great work helping fathers, families, and children, with a focus on the children, of course, because they are what's most important in the situation. And as a parent, we do as much as we can, and that's the reason I serve also, to continue to serve and do service in someone else's behalf. So I'm also very excited to report that we have another staff person or another personnel that's in the Mission Continues program.
Mission Continues Fellow.
She is another Mission Continues Fellow, and we're going to hear from her on the top of the next hour and hear her story. And this is great. This is great, Aaron. This is why I like doing radio, because you know what? It's a guilty pleasure. I just love and learn, right?
Well, it's great. I really enjoy being here with you too, Trent. It's fun, really fun.
Yes, we're learning so much about each other, and we're also spreading our stories all over the world. In fact, is there any other kind of interactions that you have as a staff person that you know that's important to get out there with the Mission Continues?
Yeah, one of the benefits of the Mission Continues Fellowship, other than what we've mentioned before, continuing your service, having a new sense of purpose, a new fulfilling life, we found that many of our fellows are building new networks. You know, when you came back from the military...
I did Iraq. I have
Iraq.
1 and 2.
Yeah, when you came back from Iraq, when I came back from Iraq, and you're a civilian now, we built an entire network in the Army, and we have to come back home and basically start from scratch. And it's not easy, for sure. Not many people in our country have to start over from another country, basically, from a totally another industry, and completely separated from normal civilian world, and start all over. And one of the first things you need to do is to start a new network. And what we help our fellows do is to establish that network when they're a fellow. So when you came on to Alpha Class 2013, you had 70 other fellows that joined you. So that's 70 veterans that are working in nonprofit industries all over the country. We do basically anything you can think of our fellows are doing in their communities. You can tap that network right away. You can figure out what you want to do to continue your service. Maybe what you're doing is not as fulfilling as other fellows, and you hear their stories. And then they're working with businesses and other nonprofits that can connect you. So one of the best things about the fellowship is building that network and starting your career. We have Juan here and you and me, and we're all part of the Mission Continues now. And that is what we're trying to build as well, that network.
And I do feel bonded. It's like a new family, and it's definitely given me a sense of purpose, direction, and I feel I'm on the right track and walking past towards a purpose-filled life, and more is coming my way as a result of. And the funny thing was, when I started and I started looking at some of the things in the Mission Continues, as I'm holding up the pamphlet and I'm looking at it, it's a charity. It's not a charity. It's a challenge. How did that come about, and what does that mean?
Yeah, well, we were founded in 2007, and one of the main reasons why the Mission Continues was established was that, besides giving a chance for veterans to do something again back here at home that's meaningful, was that many of the conversations that were ongoing in the country dealt with veterans as being victims or assets, or not as assets, being charity. And we knew, as veterans, when we come back, I was basically a mayor of Iraq, or a mayor of Iskandariya, Iraq, with 250,000 people. If you're an officer in Iraq in 2005, 2007, any of the deployments, you were working with local imams, local sheikhs. You were building schools.
I had a lot of chai.
A lot of chai, yeah. Going around. You're basically the mayor of the town, getting everyone together, doing community organization. We built schools. We built water canals. We did all the different essential services that our town needed. And then you come home and you have this amazing experience. You have an amazing skill set that someone at 24 years old, would never have here in the United States. And all you hear when you come home is that veterans are facing problems and we need to work on their problems. Yes, there are many challenges when we come home. There's PTSD, TBI, there's loss of our battle buddies. There's a lot of things to deal with. But our experience and what we went through in Iraq and Afghanistan prepares us more than anyone else. So we know it's a challenge, but we're not looking for charity. And that's basically how we were established and how that came about.
You're correct. There's so many sets of skills that are there, and there are people that are looking to hire veterans and get that translated. And somehow, although we know that these are great things, you can't train everybody on all of the skill sets that veterans have organically. The discipline, the sense of purpose and dedication and loyalty. And I don't care how much you pay somebody. You can't pay someone to be passionate nor care necessarily. So once they're functioning on those core things, they're able to perform on a higher level. Yeah. And there are principles involved with the Mission Continues, and drew me, some of them balancing themselves out between even hard work and play.
Of course.
So it's good to have values. It's good to work with a higher sense of purpose and do collective work, because you get more done. Now, I'm looking at this pamphlet too as well, and there are many types of service projects, and I didn't initially know whether or not that would fit in. I started and thought I wanted to do something I was passionate about. Sure, I have physical issues, so I didn't see myself lifting a heavy tree, even if there was a lot of people not necessarily being physically there to build a new playground, which, you know, I would love to do, but they take you with the skill sets that you have and meet you where you are. So I painted, and that was fine, and I wrote a memorandum of understanding, which is MOU, to create an opportunity using the things that I did have, because I was a logistics officer S4. So I had an understanding of technology and a passion, which I've always had. And I wanted to do something technology-based, and using that as just as well as some veterans may want to do something arts-based and have all kinds of diversity. So I'm constantly learning.
Yeah.
What are some of the opportunities that they have in terms of key sponsors or sponsorship opportunities to serve in? Are you still taking opportunities to create your own track if you could find someone?
Yeah, it is very entrepreneurial in that if you find an organization in your local community, it's a 501c3, so it's a nonprofit, and you like the work they're doing, you want to be part of it, and it inspires you and it motivates you, then you can select that host organization to be the organization that you serve with during your fellowship. So we have over 600 fellows and over 400 host organizations. So some of them have hosted multiple fellows. So they run the gamut from your local middle school. We have a fellow here who in the Bronx was working at a local middle school and is mentoring the students there. Imagine a young veteran coming home and being able to mentor students. You can't put a price tag on that. It's worth a lot. We have Habitat for Humanity, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. It really does run the range of nonprofits that you can work with. We have people working in technology. Whatever it is that gets you motivated, you can choose to be your host organization where you serve. We also do the National Days of Service, or the service projects in the community. So there's something about getting your hands dirty, something about seeing a finished product in one day. So you were mentioning painting.
Yes.
Yeah, so we painted a middle school here in the Bronx. We worked in East Harlem for a veterans homeless shelter, and we painted the whole place, and we renovated, and we removed debris, we removed trash. We've built playgrounds in the community. This is all done by veterans. And, what we're hearing from the veterans is that this is the type of stuff that they need to be involved in. When we were in the Army, we were getting our hands dirty all the time. And we were doing physical labor. Not everyone could do it, but that's what we did for the majority of our profession before we got out. And I was a tank commander at one point, and I'm working on a daily basis, grinding the tracks out, getting them ready, picking up, all of the track maintenance problems and issues that we have to do. We have one of our staff members, David Rogers, who works in the Air Force. Worked in the Air Force as a mechanic. You're getting your hands dirty and you see that finished product at the end of the day. There's not that many opportunities here back home to do that. So, but through service projects, you can become involved in that, and you feel this sense of fulfillment of, being doing something again.
That's true, and you get a lot done. I've found quicker when. It was a big puzzle doing a project, but when I was doing the project out in LA, I had made new friends during the course of painting for several hours. I made new friends in the community as well because there was someone alongside that wasn't a veteran. Although I met veterans, I met people in the community, and ultimately, when we finished a long days of hard work, no matter what we were doing, because there were several different projects happening at the same time or along the same area, there was a great collective spirit and enjoyment to see all the work that was done and one time. So and it was beautiful. But another great part was it not only doing it, but to show how much it was appreciated, and the reaction was amazing. With your service project, how was the reaction to, say the painting of the school or any of the other ones you've done? Do you have any stories about that?
Yeah, that's a great point, Trent. Not only are you fulfilling yourself and making a difference in the community, but you're making these connections with the local community, with leaders, with the people who are receiving your work. Just like in Iraq, when we were working to build a school. I worked to build a school in the Al-Bawasil district, just south of Baghdad, in Triangle of Death. And we turned around the area from, having one of the highest IEDs, improvised explosive device, rates in the country. And we did it through building schools, and we did it through spending, investments on local infrastructure. And while you're doing that, you also got to know the local people, and you got to build these relationships. It's no different here at home. You are part of your community now. You don't have to come back home after the point. You're part of your community now, mostly, for a while, and you need to build these relationships with people. We don't do that enough, and as veterans, we need to lead the way for service. Be an example for what civic service is, what citizenship is. That means going out and making a difference. It also means meeting people in the community, especially those who need help the most. And through the service project you mentioned in East Harlem, we worked with a veterans homeless shelter, and they were just so thrilled to see the place being painted and made to look better, but also just to talk.
That's right.
Just to chat, because they don't get a chance to talk with other veterans too much.
Well, it is important to do these works and have these interactions, and these interactions last for a lifetime. And once you make a connection and find out as another fellow human being how you can contribute and make a difference, you make a wonderful difference in individuals' lives that can change so much. For example, I do know that your background, you had to meet a lot of people. Although in and out the military, but for my time when I was overseas, because I had audio video skills and media skills, I did a lot of videos and works that were outside of my job per se. And just through having interactions with the local citizens, it it was a good way. We had impact on them. For example, I was doing videos on how to vote, for the first time. I threw that out there. I helped them put some of those together and hand it over to civil affairs and other people, and lent myself and my time because the people really wanted it. The people wanted it, and that was something that we would converse about, the power of voting and making a change. And for that one little seed that was planted, look what happened.
Yeah, that's crazy. It reminds me what they say in the military. You have a primary MOS.
Right.
What your role is. If you're an infantry grunt, that's your primary role. Everyone's infantry, as they say. But you also have a secondary MOS and a tertiary and a third, fourth, fifth. When you're in the Army or you're in the military, you pretty much have to do whatever is needed to get the mission accomplished. You don't have just a very specific role. And I don't know if many Americans that haven't served understand that or know that, or even people that are looking to hire in veterans know that. We're going to accomplish the mission, and we have many skills to do so, and we're not going to say that's out of my lane. We're not going to say that's someone else's job. We'll
never
get it
is,
done.
because we're all together.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point.
Yes. So is there any other particular story that you would like to tell us in the next segment, and then we'll go to a break?
Yeah, let's go to a break, Trent, and then we've got a couple of stories coming up.
That's right. We're going to go to a quick break, but stay right there, and we will be back with more stories. We have Juan still here, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about her story. Stay right there as we continue on Vets Chat Show and learning more about The Mission Continues.
Mission Continues offers community service fellows to post 9/11 veterans, granting them the opportunity to continue to give back to their community, and works towards uniting veterans and civilians. Today we're joined by Trent Love, who's a veteran and a program fellow. We welcome you to the show, and Trent, good to have you, man.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for inviting me and having a wonderful opportunity to be able to discuss veterans. Great day to be an American.
That's right. When you talk about veterans, obviously, first of all, thank you for your service and what you've done. Talk about this, because sometimes you are the forgotten, and not only are you the forgotten, sometimes it's a struggle just to be remembered. But you guys are actually working to give back, even though you've been forgotten in many instances, to really give back and make a difference.
Well, it hasn't been necessarily easy, but I'm very happy to be working with The Mission Continues because it allows veterans an opportunity to continue to serve. And there are over 600 fellows within the United States serving and inspiring across the nation, doing various types of works. So I'm very happy to be able to serve, but it's more important to overcome those obstacles, because we're all facing challenges. We're all faced with challenges. It's very important that we overcome them and build with the veteran and non-veteran community together.
And you talk about it's not a charity, but it's a challenge.
Yes, that is the goals of the program itself, in that it challenges veterans to overcome their obstacles through the program. There's a curriculum and serve within a community. I myself am working in a local capacity and also national and international capacity with locally Sharon Baptist Head Start program, working with children, and I have a daughter which I'm very passionate about, and nationally and internationally with Fathers and Families Coalition of America, doing technology program with mobile applets to help build happy relationships, healthy relationships and interactions, especially between, right now we're doing a mobile applet between fathers and daughters and daddy-daughter, greater interactions with picture books and things of that nature, using technology to bridge the digital divide.
So when you talk about giving back, what's the feeling like when you have the opportunity to give back?
Wow, it's so important to have service above self, and giving in serving and working in team projects. I was able to meet a whole bunch of great people, a whole very inspiring other veterans and people in a non-veteran community. So we learn from one another. We do community service projects together of various capacities. Right now, like I said, I'm doing a technology one, but I just came back from California and we were painting Dream Center, which was a local place. They were building a new playground. And I even got a chance to get some exposure at Wall Street, which New York Stock Exchange, which I was very happy about. So community building, team building, and in serving, we're able to give and receive as well.
You have a 6-month fellowship program. We're seeing some pictures actually right now. This is the New York Stock Exchange right here.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit about what you do and how you're involved.
Okay, well, the stock exchange was one opportunity that the Mission Continue had, that they reached out to a couple of people that were currently serving. There was just an alpha class last month that started. So pretty much I'm new and I'm excited about the program. They offered me an opportunity to come and be a part of that, and that was really a chance of a lifetime, an opportunity of a lifetime.
The opening bell.
The closing, we had the closing bell, and they
Okay.
treated us great. I learned so much, and I said, wow, this is a great experience. I'll remember it forever, and I'll share it with my daughter, and it was just such an awesome experience to have the opportunity to be on the floor, and very motivating.
So what do you say to other veterans about this program and, you know, being involved in this? What would you like? What would be your message?
Join now, because there's so much work in the community that could be done, and there's all different types of service. There is hard work. There's some people that do houses, and in this pamphlet you can go to www.missioncontinues.org and find different types of programs to get into. There are some that involve physical labor. There are some that involve, I'm doing technology, which I didn't think that would be something that would be looked at, but it is. It gives opportunities to veterans to continue to serve in different areas. There's local veterans here in the Bronx that I do know of that are at the VA hospital helping other veterans. That's good. Veterans helping each other, beautiful things. There's some that are helping in housing within the local affiliates and entities with the Mission Continue. So you can be a fellow, you can join as a community partner, you can be a sponsor, or you can be a volunteer. It's all about working together, because there's a lot of work to do in communities, especially this one in the Bronx.
And so you were out in California as well,
Yes.
and what was that like?
Oh, that was an awesome experience. It was great weather, by the way. I was right near.
Doing better than we're doing right now, yeah.
Well, I did get a chance to get some sun. That was a great experience, but it was very motivating. They had the CEO and the president, Eric. He gave very motivational speech, and I had an opportunity to connect with other veterans and non-veterans doing painting buildings, doing playgrounds, and just learning a lot in a day of camaraderie. We were able to do collective work that would have taken probably each of us days in a matter of hours, and the difference was we did make a difference. After painting and putting up these playgrounds and things of that nature, they were so grateful. They thanked us. Disney came down. They had representatives as well. So it was a great time, and we started our fellowship officially over there to be able to go across the United States and serve in various communities.
And now, before we leave, I know that you're,
Sure.
you know, in terms of service, you're out there, you're serving a lot, and you're also, you know, a family guy as well. And I know
Yes.
you wanted to make a little special shout out before we leave.
Yes, I am very much a family person, and I do work with Fathers and Families Coalition, and my local is Sharon Baptist Head Start. So, and for Valentine's Day, I brought a little card for my daughter.
A little
card, and to show her I love her this much and more.
All right.
For Valentine's Day.
What's
and
your daughter's name? We haven't said your daughter's name on air.
My daughter's name is Victoria, but I got some candy and card and flowers, and she'll receive it later.
Okay.
So I'm very excited and proud to wish her a very happy Valentine's Day. And for those that have children, remember our children as well in this time of sharing and showing love is so important, to show them that we care and love about them as well as everyone else.
Well, thank you so much for the service that you've given to the community, the service that you've rendered to the country, and you know, it's wonderful to give back, but it seems like you have a spirit where you want to continuously give back. So Trent, thanks for everything that you've done, and to your daughter Victoria, we also want to wish her a very happy Valentine's Day. And Dad's got a big car. You trying to, you know, put people on blast here. All right, Trent, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and time. If you want more information, visit www.missioncontinues.org.
That's right, and we had that information at the bottom of your screen so that way you can be able to tap into it. And anytime you want to find out about the Mission Continues, you do that, themissioncontinues.org. And definitely, we got to shut things down. It's definitely been a pleasure coming to your homes. And we want to thank all of our guests for joining us, and especially you, the viewer, for tuning in. And you can tune in tonight for the recable cast of Open at 10 p.m. on BronxNet Channel 67, or you can watch anytime on the web at www.bronxnet.org. And from all of us here at Open, we encourage you to have a great week, and don't forget to keep your heart, your mind, and most of all, this channel wide open. Take care. Yeah, so say.
Fathers and Families Coalition of America is introducing a whole new way of life for family, bringing fathers and daughters together in a colorful spirit of fellowship and unity, reminding us that there's always a rainbow in the sky. The connection between a father and a daughter is special and unique. She may outgrow your lap, but she will never outgrow your heart, and she'll always be your little girl. Dads, daughters, and practitioners will get connected and stay connected through our father-daughter program, building daddy's little princesses into strong women of excellence. A daughter is a gift of love and compassion. The creativity of plugging into an outlet will electrify and awaken hope, passion, and faith, while illuminating direction and guidance in your family's journey. We cultivate the necessary ingredients and seasonings between daughters and fathers that add the zesty flavor of life and friendship. As Ruth E. Wrinkle once said, sometimes the poorest man leaves his children the richest inheritance. This is a place of strength, courage, responsibility, and grace. Come experience an atmosphere for renewing the lives of fathers and daughters with the fabric of love by restoring, rebuilding, and reflecting on what matters most. This is a special Fathers and Daughters program to promote the legacy and strength of a father and daughter. Get connected with a network of endless possibilities, new beginnings, love, and hope for your family.